After you've cast your foam latex puppet and you've let it cool down, you're going to rub it with a wet paper towel, and this is to take off all the release agent that's on the surface of the puppet. Next, you take some cuticle scissors, and I prefer to start at the feet, and I gently cut away at the foam latex, pulling along the edge and cutting along the seam, and then I take out the tie downs out of the feet so I can work with the puppet closer. Now, by pulling on the foam latex, you can actually see where the puppet meets the flashing. And I trim this all the way around the puppet. Now, if you cut a little bit too much and you leave an indent, don't worry, you're going to fill that in. I prefer to leave a slight, small edge around the puppet and then burn this away. And this allows me to get a closer seam to it. I also leave my hands for very last, and that way I can get the best detail out of cutting around the hands and the fingers. Then I cut the holes at the base of the feet where the tie downs are supposed to be, and I make this a larger hole so that way it doesn't pinch when removing or adding tie downs. Then I take a soldering iron and I gently burn away with the tip of the soldering iron the excess edge that was originally where the flashing met the puppet. And I can burn this down to either the exact surface of the puppet to make it smooth, or I can burn a deeper edge and then apply pro paste and fill that in. Now I do this to the whole puppet all the way around it, and it takes a while, but this is actually one of the nice calming phases of the puppet build. And so stick the music on, sit back, and just work away. Fingers, once again, it's just, a matter of detail. And since I have the soldering iron, I can really get in there and really get those crevices within the fingers itself. Now, once I've done all the edges all the way around the puppet, I cut off the top wire and make sure I don't cut the puppet itself, just the wire. And then I take some Cabosil powder, which you can get at the Monster Effects places where you got your foam latex, and add some Prosaide to this powder in a cup. And you're going to make what's called pro paste. And you mix this together, and you want to get some kind of like consistency of toothpaste. And you're going to use this paste to fill in any holes or bubble marks that are on the surface of the puppet. You can use a chopstick, a spoon, whatever, craft stick. Then I fill in the hole with the pro paste, and I fill along the seam of the puppet, and I do the whole puppet. Now I do sections at a time and then smooth it down as I go. I also take a Q-tip and dip it in some water and smooth out the paste a little bit more once it's on there while the paste is still wet. You can also use a paintbrush to paint it in, and I prefer to dip the paintbrush into the Prosaide and then dip it in the water real fast and then apply it to the seam. Now you're going to do this 4 to 5 times all the way around the puppet, maybe less, maybe more, who knows. And you're going to let it dry in between each stage, and it will shrink and it will become extremely sticky as well. The thing about this is you just got to make sure that you get this smooth as seam as possible. Here I am with the paintbrush that I was mentioning earlier. And then once this is all dry, said, and done, you should have a well-seamed puppet, and you can mount it to a piece of wood. And you'll see that I have mine elevated so that way it doesn't stick to the actual wood and rip the feet of the puppet. And I am ready for painting, priming and painting. Now to prime it, you can just take straight Prosaide and paint it onto the puppet. And the paint is actually called Pax paint that you're going to use to mix up. That'll be in a separate tutorial. But for now, you should be ready to move on to the painting stage. And I want to thank you for watching this tutorial. Please feel free to go to the magazine, of course, at stopmotionmagazine.com and download the PDFs and all that other stuff. Leave your comments below. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Be a good person. Eat well. And if you're going to party, don't party so hard that you get sick and you don't want to make puppets anymore. So thank you, and we'll see you soon.